Hello lovelies! Today I'm going to talk to you about how I make these beginner-friendly black and white crochet eyes. A lot of the eyes that I've made in the past have been a little bit more complicated because they've got colours and things like that. But I'm well aware that oftentimes you just want a really straightforward, beginner-friendly black and white crochet eye. As you can see, these are oval shaped eyes. The black part of the eye isn't central, so we have to make sure when we're creating these that we do a mirror image type of situation. You can't just make two of the exact same eye because it will look all weird. So I'm going to take you through how to make each of the eyes, and then we're also going to talk about how we might adapt these eyes to suit different projects. Don't forget to save this video, like, share, subscribe to my channel. So let's go. So you can pause to see the materials that you'll need, but most importantly is the yarn. I tend to use a cotton yarn, and you'll need that in black and white or whatever colors you're deciding to make your eyes with. It's obviously entirely up to you what yarn you choose, but that's just what I go with. First up, we're going to make your creation's right eye, and we're starting with the black yarn. We're going to do a magic ring and crochet 8 single crochets into the magic ring. And when we get to the 8th stitch, we're actually going to change to the white yarn in the final movement of that stitch, and that will enable us to start working with the white yarn for the rest of the eye. Also at this point, you're going to want to tighten your magic ring to make sure that your eye looks complete. And starting row 2, we're going to complete a slip stitch with the white yarn into each stitch around the eye. You are going to be working into these slip stitches, so you need to make sure that they're not too tight, but at the same time you want a consistency of your stitches, so you don't want to make them loose either. And you can see that my magic ring came loose, so I'm giving it a proper pull so it doesn't come loose again. Then I'm fastening off the black yarn because we're not going to need that anymore. Alright, we're on to row 3, and this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. We're going to be working under both bars of the slip stitch, and we're going to do another slip stitch to begin with. Don't forget our trusty stitch marker. And then we're going to work a single crochet increase into the next stitch. So that's 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And then we're going to be working 2 double crochet increases. You can see that it is sometimes a little bit difficult to get the hook and the yarn through those slip stitches that you did in the previous row, but in keeping those stitches quite firm, you end up with a better look for the eye. So hopefully you're able to persist. Next thing, you're going to be working 2 half double crochet increases. So that's 2 half double crochets into each stitch for the next 2 stitches. And to finish out this row, we're going to do 2 single crochet increases. And we're nearly there. For the final row of the eye, row 4, we're going to slip stitch into each stitch around. This is just going to give our eye a really uniform and finished look about it. And that's your first eye done. Hopefully yours looks similar to this one. And now let's talk about how we actually fasten this off. Cut your yarn with a long length, pulling the length through, and then we're going to skip ahead 2 stitches on the round of the eye. Then pull the length under both bars of that stitch, and then come back to that original stitch and pull it through just the back loop, and that will create an invisible join. So that is right eye done. Now let's make a left eye that is the mirror image. Once again, we're back to our black yarn, starting with a magic ring and working 8 single crochets into the magic ring. I'm sure you know what to do at this point, so we're going to skip ahead to the end of row 1. And at the end of the 8th stitch, we'll change to the white yarn. Once again, for row 2, we're doing a slip stitch into every stitch around the eye. And start row 3. We're going to start with 2 single crochet increases. And then work 2 half double crochet increases. Next, we're going to complete 2 double crochet increases. One single crochet increase, and finishing this row with a slip stitch. It was a tight one, but we got there. Once again, with the final row of this second eye, we're going to do a slip stitch into each stitch around. And again, I'm going to jump ahead because you know what you're doing at this point. And at the end of this row, do an invisible fasten off just like you did the first time. That's it, you're done. 2 gorgeous crochet eyes. However, If you want a slightly different look, you can attach the black yarn for the final row and do the slip stitch around all in black. That'll give your eye some more definition and make it look even more cartoony. And if you're looking for an entirely different texture, you could make your entire eye out of plush yarn. And now you've done all that awesome work creating the crochet eyes, don't stop there. The next most important part is sewing your eyes onto your creation. And I know you're thinking, yeah, I know how to do this, but I've got some pointers for you. So let me show you. The best thing about using pins is that you can move the eyes around to change how your creation actually looks before you actually commit to sewing it on. I use a ladder stitch to stitch my eyes to my creations. So to do this, you insert the needle, making sure that it's running alongside the eye, and then put the needle back through that slip stitch that was on the final row of our eye. It's really important here that you're only working in those slip stitches because it just creates a cleaner look. Then we reverse the needle around and stitch back through that next slip stitch. And then we work the thread back into our creation's head. So that is a ladder stitch. And I use this method going into each and every stitch all the way around the eye. When I'm ready to fasten the yarn off, I pull the length out away from the eye, I double knot it, and then I just pull that thread back through the same hole you've come out of and just somewhere else before I trim the yarn off. And that's it. You've completed your eyes, you've sewn them on so that they're super neat. Congratulations. So I really hope that's given you all of the ideas for how to create these beginner-friendly black and white crochet eyes. Share, save this video for later, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.